All right, let's blame the snow. If the snow comes, everyone goes crazy. So does everything here, I guess, today. But with no further ado, let's start. So today we have gathered here for the celebratory occasion of having our, I would say, first Agile talk. Since the DevOps and Agile community usually does DevOps and Agile together, and this is the first event that is just specifically for Agile. And here you can see our lovely speakers, Leonid, who already explained to you how to deal with post-it notes, already a good start. Leonid Ulyankit and André Nitzschmann. And let's get into the agenda. So what we're gonna do today. So the icebreaker was dealing with technical difficulties and hearing about post-it notes. So that was our icebreaker. But well, we're almost on time, and we'll do an intro. We have one presentation, then we have a short lightning talk, and after the lightning talk, we'll have a break for 15 minutes. The times can be adjusted at the end of the day, I'd say. Considering how we started today, the times could be adjusted as we go, let's say. And the second presentation comes after the break. Please, after the 15 minutes, I will call you back in, and then we continue with the second presentation, and then at the end of the evening, once the presentations are done, we can stay here, and we organize something called DevOps Talks. And during those DevOps talks, what we do is people bring up like questions that are dear to their heart, and then we discuss it in a circle. It's a nice thing, and it's quite fun as well. So you'll see. I'll explain the rules for it later. Yes. So for this event, we have to say big thanks to Workman, who provide us with these lovely premises and let us do our events here. So thanks Workman. We have two general sponsors for the food and drinks that you see in the other room. That would be Strategic Staffing Solutions and Arbato Systems Latvia.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. Yeah. And maybe now I would like to ask Uldis to explain how you become a sponsor.
A lot of stuff on the slide. I'm not gonna explain you every line of it. But the key thing you need to know is that we're open for sponsors, like companies. And right now we don't have a single official, like 1 year sponsor. Not really. Right now, every event is being sponsored kind of separately, and that's a lot of work. Why to sponsor? So obviously your logo will be on our posters, on our social media, here at the room, and so on. If you don't know actually how cool we are, we're gonna hit 1,000 members of the community. I want to say in October. Today is what, October 20 something. So we're missing just 20 members, but it's a pretty big thing. Today, maybe in this room, it's not overcrowded, but at least it's comfortable. So there are 3 ways. Become a 1 year sponsor, be a sponsor for 1 event, be a sponsor together with someone for 1 event. So the message is simple. Go to your CEO or, well, there's one CEO. We need money. Yeah, because we are putting a lot of efforts in this, and when we can't even give you some food for your stomach, then it's like a bit troubling feeling. Like the last event we did the ordering by ourselves. That was fun, but
that was the icebreaker.
That was the ice. Literally, that was. Yeah. So you get visibility on social media, at events, and so on and so on and so on. So if you believe, hey, your company actually could be interested in this, here's contacts of me. We'll start with a conversation, and then we move forward and see how you can help. Thank you.
Alrighty. So that's, if you want to become a sponsor, that's how you can do it. And
Right. This is kind of part of community. Has anyone been to the tech dinner?
It's too far away.
I'm a very positive personality. I don't hear the bad stuff. How was it? There were two hands. How was it?
Well, it was very friendly, so, and actually very useful. I met partners from RBS, and we are still trying to make up a new product, so it was very productive for me.
Cool. How was it?
Yeah, it was very interesting conversation. I like it.
Yeah, see, only good feedback. Only good feedback.
Can we get next
Yeah.
on the other side of the river?
Come join, organize it, and we'll make it happen. So November 14th, Andres was our speaker a while back, gave amazing speech, and now you can meet him at that event. We meet there, we have some dinner, we talk, we enjoy time. Gunt is, in a way, also one of my partners, amazing guy, very, very smart one, never responds with an answer, always asks questions because he's another coach. Yeah, a joke, but not a joke. Typically, such events cost 50 euros per night. If you sign up today, it's just 5 euros. You can find it on the meetup.com, obviously.
Yeah, if you search for EdTech dinner, you can find it. Righty. So, while we're here, this event is organized by DevOps and Agile community, and we do have some goals for all of these events. So it's socializing and networking when people who are professionals in a certain field. This time it's Agile, sometimes it's more DevOps oriented. Then people come together, you network, you talk, you build new connections, which is nice. Then with these events, we managed to grow the community as well quite a lot. I hope we reach that 1,000 community members in October still. We share knowledge, and what helps with this is after the talks are done or during the breaks, we talk with each other, and then you can learn some new stuff. And as well with the new presentations, you learn to do some cool tools or agile practices or anything you can learn from these kinds of events. Happier DevOps and Agile specialists, better Agile practitioners, and the impact of all of this would be that we do things more effective way, more efficient, more sustainable, and more personal growth for all the people who come to these kinds of events. And these are the lovely people who are responsible of these events. You can see not that many this time, but these are the people who are in the main group who organize these kinds of events and set everything up. If you want to get in touch with us, you can use any of these channels, so Slack, LinkedIn, Facebook, Meetup, or the DevOps LB website, where we post a lot of news, and you can just check it from time to time, and all the info is found there as well. And if you want to be one of presenters in front of here, then you can do it, and we would appreciate it. So just hit us up, and all the info is there on the link. Oh, sorry, no, slide was wrong. No, never mind. Let's take a break. Okay, let's continue then with the first talk. Yes. Right. Leonid, I would ask you to.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. You start, and then André goes second.
Right.
Is that okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Let's get started. So, anyone knows me already, or maybe someone wants to know a little bit more about me? No? Okay. Right. So, who am I? My name is Leonid Lyankin. I go by Leo in the work environment because it's easier. Everyone butchers my name for some reason, even though it's relatively simple. But Leo sounds nice, so you can call me Leo if that's fine with you. All right. And yeah, I've spent my career now a lot of different organizations, starting from a corporate monsters like a Vodafone with hundreds and thousands of employees, right? And finishing with the small startups of like 5 people, where I'm currently kind of as a hobby work a couple of hours a day, having fun with a bunch of guys, and we are building a cool key management system that will hopefully annihilate the similar product from Amazon or Microsoft. So that's our vision, right? You need to target, you need to think big, target the big guys. And yeah. So I've been a Scrum Master for a decade, give or take. Started with my role as a Scrum Master right here in Riga, working for Revolution Gaming of all places. But I couldn't live with the idea of the gaming industry, and overall business model wasn't sitting with me very well. So I spent like a year and a half there, and then I left. And after that, it was quite a lot of Sweden. So I spent quite a bit of time working with Swedish people in Stockholm. Had a great fun. I learned a little bit of Swedish, so talar lite svenska, if anyone cares. Skål, yeah, of course, fika and all the other useful things that you need to learn in Swedish. Right now, I mean, I've looked back and don't really regret anything. So I think if I would need to repeat it, I would do exactly the same, because I've met fantastic people along the way. I've had this taste of very different organizations. Every organization, every group of people, every team is unique. It will have its own taste, right? It will have its own smell, its own noise level, its own productivity level, etc. So I think I'm quite happy right now. I spend a lot of time with my daughter. She will be 3 years old quite soon, and I'm really happy. So because I can work for a couple of hours a day from my home office, and then the rest of the day is us just hanging out, going somewhere and spending our time and learning from each other. So if you ask me who I am, I would say I'm happy. Right? So I think it's very important to recognize when you are happy, because it's not always going to stay like that. So. All right. So that's me a little bit, and if you want to ever hang out or talk, reach me out. You will find me on the meetup right here in this meetup as well. I've subscribed and said I will come, so you'll find me by name there. There are my contacts there, so shoot me an email. Let's chat. I'm always happy to talk to anyone who has interest about agility or anything else for that matter. So I like to expand my horizons and meet new people. Right. So that's my goal, in a way. Professional goal is to become a Scrum trainer with Scrum Org. I'm not there yet, but I'm relatively close. So there are not many people I think there's total numbers under the 100 people in the world who have a PST license, and it's quite tough to get there. So of course I want to exaggerate everything, right? It's very tough to get there, I'm spending quite a bit of time on this, but not enough, because I'm still not having that license, so I cannot really teach Scrum Masters. But I love doing it, because if you can, you meet fantastic people along the way, right? So they're all very different, and there's so much you can learn from them. So for me, this is not about the license anymore. It's about really expanding myself and learning from people that have an extra decade of my experience, and share their perspective, their knowledge, and so I can try at least to learn from their mistakes. So that's what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about also zombie Scrum a little bit, because I think that is something you might have heard and you might have faced in your organization as well. So, and that's our first exercise for the day, because I don't want to just talk at you. I know it's boring, so there are just 5 slides or 6, so there will be not many slides. I will try to give space for you to discuss things and work through things yourselves. I hope that's fine, right? So you're here, there are no prisoners here, right? Everyone here by their own will. So, I'm inviting you to find a partner right now, and for the next 4 minutes or so, discuss with that partner. That can be anyone, right? Whoever sits next to you. And we will need to stand up anyway, so you might do that now as well if you want. So discuss this, right? Discuss a zombie or mechanical Scrum. What comes to mind? What do you think? What that is? What is zombies? Slide heel terrein. Oh, ik had het vriend. Two. All right. Okay. Then this is our secret signal. No one knows what, some of you don't know what it is or don't remember. This means if I see a hand, what I do, I raise my hand as well, right? And I finish the conversation that is currently going on. So you don't need to immediately, say, yeah, oh, and shut up. No, that's not about it, right? So finish your thought, finish your conversation, you have another 30 seconds or so. That's absolutely fine if you continue during a thought. Don't want to interrupt and cut you short. All right. So this was really nice. I think it was a good, nice level. I like that. I think we're going to repeat it again, but you will need to find different partners now. So you will need to move around. Find someone else, please. Do exactly the same for the next 4 minutes. Discuss zombie or mechanical scrum. Come on, you can do it. spirit. Self-organizing spirit, sorry. It's actually quite cool. Low team morale, okay. Robotic zombie Scrum, okay, not robot. Scrum is not always working. Motivated team, people not involved in process. Okay, symbiotic paradigm. Okay. Nice. Those are some cool metaphors, guys. I really like that. And you know, my experience with Scrum is somewhere here as well. You know, I can relate to many of these post-its. Honestly, I've seen a lot of things done to this framework, and with this framework, some people weaponize it, not really getting any benefits of using it, or very little benefit of trying and applying it. And that's why I'm doing this talk, because I want more people to know that, you know, Scrum is actually beautiful. It's very simple and it's very, very powerful. And, you know, I've had the pleasure to work with a few companies that really practice professional Scrum, that really do it in a way that it was intended to be used, and use it in the correct context as well. Because Scrum is not, you know, one size fits all. It's not that. You shouldn't be using it everywhere. And I think that's one of the major mistakes that companies do. They try and apply Scrum really everywhere. It's not meant for that. One of the first things, if you read in Scrum Guide, it says that Scrum is a framework to address complex adaptive problems, right? So what does it mean, complex? Complex means a problem that is evolving as we are trying to solve it, okay? So we have a hard time even defining the problem statement, then it's a good sign that you might need to have Scrum and apply Scrum. And if you do something that's been done already many times before you and others done it and you're just repeating someone else's work, don't use Scrum. It's overkill. It's too much. It's too much meat in it. It's too many practices binded together in a Scrum framework to be applied for simple problems, right? For simple domain of problems, only apply Google, right? Apply ChatGPT, and you know, it's always a good way to check whether the problem is complex or simple or complicated. Is to fire it up in Google and see how many solutions you can find in it, right? Yeah. So what else do I want to say? So professional Scrum is much more than just a process. People always, often, not always, but often perceive Scrum as a, you know, we have daily Scrum, we have sprint planning, we have sprint retrospective, we have sprint review, we have product owner, we have Scrum Master, we have Scrum. And I say, no, don't. You only have part of Scrum, right? You have the process part. But Scrum is heavily rooted in values, and values are all about behaviors. Right? So Scrum is more actually about behaviors than it is about the process. What does it really mean? You might ask. Right? What does it mean that this guy is telling me that the Scrum is not about the process, it's about behaviors? And for me, behaviors is how we really connect with other people. You know, remember Agile Manifesto, individuals and interactions over processes and tools, right? So Scrum process, that's processes and tools. But individuals and interactions, that's the key bit there, right? So that's what we need to take away from Scrum framework at the first place. And that's why Scrum defines those values in an attempt to invite everyone to step up and to say, hey, let's put this goal, this product goal for us as a team, and let's work towards it together. Let's make every sprint all about the sprint goal. Let's focus on the singular sprint goal together, right? And do everything we can, everything in our power to achieve that sprint goal by the end of the sprint, right? So we really test our business hypothesis that we have every single sprint. So Scrum, I think, is misunderstood in a way that It's used to deliver something. It wasn't meant to be delivering anything. Scrum is meant to explore business opportunities. Wherever sprint is essentially a business experiment, where you say, where the product owner comes and says, "Hey guys, I have this idea. What if we do this? Will we reap a benefit from this idea or not?" And we as the developers will say, "Well, let's run a sprint on this, right? Let's make this our sprint goal to investigate if actually this idea of yours can bring value to our company and to our customers and maybe to new customers as well." So then we run the sprint just with that thought. How do we experiment to figure out if this idea is valuable, it actually creates value, or not? So that's what Scrum is all about. You know, I weep when I see how much potential is wasted in corporations where you have this Scrum masters, product owners, and humongous amount of product backlogs. And when you start looking at it, it's you know, they deliver something that is very preset in time, where there are milestones ahead for the next 6 months and stuff like that. And you don't need Scrum for that. You know, it's a worst possible solution for this. It's never meant to be used to deliver chunks of work, right? Go.
But you know that managers like to go for holidays on islands. Islands
Yeah.
cannot live without waterfalls, so
You need a waterfall on every island, yeah. Right. So yeah, I think that's my rant on what professional Scrum is, and I think the goal of Scrum is really to enable trust, right? Why trust? Anyone knows why the trust is so important?
because it's like a synapse speed of communication, which if you have trust, the speed of communication multiplies.
That's one part of it, but there is more. There is data that proves that the trust is an enabling factor for success in a way. Right? So there have been multiple studies done by multiple companies as well. I think one of them is Google, probably. Aristotle Project, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of it, where they investigated what makes some teams very successful and others not as much. And they've discovered that it's the secret sauce is what's called psychological safety. Right? Psychological safety is when we feel safe to speak our mind with each other. When we feel safe to say, "I made a mistake. Let's correct it together." Right? So that's what psychological safety is all about. And trust is essentially psychological safety in one word. So it's trust in people when we empower people to do the right thing, and it's our organizational ability to focus its effort to really together. So when people stand up and work as one towards a common shared objective, common shared goal, right? Yeah, so that's why in Scrum we have, we define those artifacts such as product goal, because we want people to work towards a singular objective together. That's why every single sprint should have a sprint goal, a singular objective for us to achieve, because that's how we invite everyone to work together, regardless of their preferred skill. Right? When I come to a new team as a Scrum Master, I always say, I will be honest with you, I respect each one as individual, but I don't give a rat's ass for your specific focus area, right? I don't care if you're a front-ender or the back-ender. Every sprint we're going to choose a goal, and if it so happens, and it will always happen, that the sprint goal will have nothing to do with the back-end, you guys will need to do something to help that progress the sprint goal. Right? And that's it. So it's a simple thought. Right? So we as a team, we work towards that goal regardless of our preferred skill. We need to commit to the goal. Right? So commitment is a big part of Scrum. One of Scrum values. We commit as each individual developer commits to a sprint goal. So the whole team commits to a sprint goal and works towards it every single sprint. Without it, Scrum doesn't work. So if you don't have commitment, Scrum will not work. The other value is openness. It's being open about what I think, right? It's about being open with our stakeholders, not just with one another, but with our stakeholders as well. What are we doing, right? What's our sprint goal? It should be very obvious for everyone who has interest and has some stake in what we are building. So without the openness, again, we cannot inspect things, right? We cannot see where we are. We cannot make adjustments every sprint. So Scrum leverages what's called empiricism. Empiricism is something that is relatively simple. Everyone who's in their life boiled an egg knows what empiricism is, or cooked a meal. Why? Because that's a very empirical process. You control it empirically. You learn by doing it, right? So first time you boil an egg, you probably Google somewhere, how it's done, or you ask your grandma, or someone shows you, and that's how you do it. But then over time, you learn how it works for you in a better way. So you learn better practice. But you do it by experimentation in a way, right? So cooking is a perfect metaphor for empirical process control. And Scrum is heavily rooted in this. So every time we do something, every sprint, at the end of a sprint, we check, how did the sprint go? Did we achieve the sprint goal? Right? No, yes. What was done? Right? What's our next step? How do we change the direction based on what we learned now in this sprint? What are we going to do next? So Scrum is always inviting us to inspect the current situation and adjust based on what we learn. Where do we go from here? And I think in Zombie Scrum that rarely happens. We don't do that. Okay, I think that was really it. The next slide is quite boring, and it's just about my the labels or whatever, those certifications that I've passed. I'm especially proud of this one. I think I'm one of the few guys in Latvia, maybe the only one who has it. I know one more person who has PSPO 3. Those are quite soft exams. So hello there. I'm glad to see you. And so why I'm showing you this? Because I'm inviting you to try. So if you don't, doesn't matter what role you have in your organization. I think everyone who tries to pass PSM1, PSPO1, or get the CSM for yourself, you will grow. You will grow as a professional. So regardless if you're a developer or a QA or a DevOps, I think expanding your horizons, not just vertically, but horizontally as well, builds you as a better professional, as a better person. So by my example, if you want to try, as I said in the beginning, reach out to me, and I will help you together to pass this exam. I'm always happy to talk to someone who is eager for knowledge. I can share my kind of tools and instrument and maybe mentor you if you want to. So, right. So that's my journey, and the slides will be shared with you, of course. And I'm encouraging you to refresh your knowledge on Scrum by taking a look at the Scrum guide. It's a living document. It was updated in 2020 again. Not everyone knows that. So, but if you read it once, my personal experience, you probably understand like 10% of what the authors you want to understand, right? If you read it twice, maybe you get to 15-20%. So read it a dozen of times. It's heavily packed. It's like 12 pages of text. It's not long. It is heavily packed with knowledge. And it's a shame when we do not leverage it, right? I see so many organizations that, yeah, we do Scrum. Have you heard about Scrum guide? No. Okay. Sorry. Sorry to break it to you, but you probably have something else, okay? And so try it out. And I've spent quite a bit of time reading it, and I'm still reading it. even after a decade working in this industry. And Scrum Guide has a lot of practices around it as well. So there's evidence-based management, right? So that's how do we learn to use and leverage Scrum to drive towards this product goal that the company that has. How do we measure the results of the work that we do? You know, in a way, it's I think Scrum's attempt to introduce OKRs, something like that. So it's an interesting document as well. It can give you a clue of what metrics could be used to support your Agile journey, right? Because it is a journey. It doesn't have an end. And yeah, there are some learning paths that I can recommend to take a look at. Of course, that's for every single role we have a learning path, and those are free of charge. You just go there, you open it, and it's very nice. It's essentially knowledge that is structured in a way where multiple authors for every topic that you see here, they've combined the articles, the most popular articles from Scrum or blog, and they're interesting to read. You get different perspectives, different industries as well. So it's not one size fits all again. So I really like those. Those are the source of curing your ignorance, I guess, for me at least. And a couple of books. Gunnar Verheyen, fantastic guy. 143 pages or something, this book, the pocket book. Take a look, there are multiple revisions of it. That's how you know that the book is good. When you see revision 5 published, it's good, right? So, and of course, Mastering Professional Scrum. It's a great book. It has some experiments you can try, and always, figure out something new to try in your organization. And last but not least, some people are, yeah, I know Scrum, what it is. I've read the Scrum Guide. Try an exam for yourself. You will see if you're actually as good as you think. Right? So I actually challenge you here to maybe after the session, maybe tomorrow in the morning, just go there to open assessment, open assessment and try it. And I bet you will be surprised. Okay? And if you're not, reach out to me and say you were wrong. Okay? I think the best way to actually learn something is to try things out. So that's actually my one of the last slides. So find someone to mentor you, or become a mentor yourself. If there is someone who is eager to learn from you, because that's how we learn as human beings. When we channel our knowledge into someone, and they ask difficult questions, and then all of a sudden you understand maybe you don't know as much as you thought you did, right? Or vice versa. And I think mentoring is underrated in Latvia. It's our pain point. Not many people do that, so that's why I'm offering my services, because I always lacked a mentor. And when I discovered a few guys that become my mentors, it was fantastic for me, right? I've accelerated my learning like tenfold comparing to what I could do myself alone. So yeah, find someone who's ready to teach and share. More books. This book with the controversial name of Doing Twice the Work at Half the Time. It got some critique on this title, of course, because it's confusing for people. It's like, yeah, that means that Scrum is meant to create more speed, right? And so we do more stuff in shorter amount of time, and that's wrong, right? It's not what the author wanted to say. Scrum is all about value proposition. So it's about the focus on what's most valuable, discovering what's most valuable for us as a company, for our customers. And it's not about going faster. So every time I hear someone, yeah, our team now delivered 20 story points more on average as we did last year. And I don't care about that. It's a useless metrics, right? So producing more stuff doesn't equal generating more value. So only measurement of progress, the best measurement of progress is always value that you create. So measure value, find a way to measure value. And that's difficult, right? So try evidence-based management might tell you how to measure value. So yeah. And again, these guys, liberators, you haven't heard of them. 6 times I was Scrum Master. It was 8 at some point, now it's 6. Both versions are fine, whatever you choose. The latest one is 6 versions of a Scrum, stances of a Scrum Master. This was an eye-opener for me. Maybe it will become an eye-opener for some of you. It's an article, so it's just a few scrolls. It's not a book, right? So this is an article. You can read on your way home. You're not driving, of course. And yeah, I think the Scrum Master is one of the most underrated currently, or most misunderstood roles in our industry, unfortunately. You know, I see so many people that call themselves Scrum Masters, but very few of them are actually trying to become a real Scrum Master. Because it's very hard. It means you need to go against the flow very often. You need to really address big challenges, right? It means that you challenge the status quo of the organization that you hired. So you go and tell someone who hired you that, you know, there is a better way, guys. Let's try it. Right? And that's a difficult thing because people don't like to change. Let's face it, organizations especially. We say, yeah, this works for us. So just, you know, go work with your team. What do you want from me? Yeah. Right. I think I should stop talking and invite you to practice your skills. So how will we practice our skills today? I want you to reflect on my thought. I want you to think about the professional Scrum. And to do that, we're going to do exactly the same exercise as we did in the beginning of the session. So I want you to discuss with someone preferably whom you didn't talk yet today, what is professional Scrum now for you? Did you learn something maybe from today? Maybe something triggered in your mind and you know, you want to discuss it with someone now? So do it. Discuss professional Scrum. 2 minutes, find a new partner. If you like, stand up. If you like to continue sitting down, up to you. What professional Scrum is? So let's mix it up a little bit. We've been doing pairs and pairs, might get boring. Could we do 2 pairs? So find another pair, and between the 4 of you, discuss your learnings, discuss whatever you've discussed before. So we're going to do a variation of a liberating structure. Right? So 4 of you, 4 minutes, discussion. I want to give you an opportunity to spend the next couple of minutes maybe sharing. Someone wants to speak up and share something with the rest of us. You know, from each group if you like, or just individually, it doesn't matter. Just want to give you an opportunity to speak up, because I was talking a lot, but maybe some of you want to share something with us as well. I'll hide it in Twitch.
Well, actually, I was surprised because I've been doing Scrum for probably 10 years, wrong way. I didn't know what I was doing, right? And I was in teams that were doing Scrum, and I talked to programmers who hate the word Scrum because of the zombie part of it, right? So the thing that really did an insight for me today was connecting Scrum to OKRs, or objectives of the companies, like understanding and trying to find the value nugget of a sprint and really connect that to the transformation the organization is trying to have, versus just, you know, taking the block and estimating the block and then making the block, which is very technical. So how to understand value. This is the part which I want to read in one of the links. Hopefully, what was that? The management?
Evidence-based management, yeah.
Exactly. So that would be my next step. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks. Hey, you can just speak up from your place. It's more comfortable for you guys. You don't need to. I'll probably say something, but go ahead. Yeah.
My name is Max. I'm coming more from the technical background, getting from the very junior developer to a CDO. And the most important thing I learned is using Scrum or not using Scrum is not being against it in the first place. So just not to try to fight with the Scrum, just try to accept it, because Scrum mostly about developing your soft skills. As Leo already mentioned, it's all about the values, all about talking and exchanging information. And developers always work in the style. They don't want to talk. They want to write documentation. They just want to write code, and just fight about that. Try to get out of your comfort zone. Just accept the Scrum, and you will see the transformation. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, so many Roberts. The important idea is that a good Scrum is like a good painting. So yeah, I think that's
good. That's for painting. Right. That's all, folks. Don't have anything else for today. So, if you like, you can draw a smiley face over here. I think this is something I've learned from Vladimir at some point in time. Always give people a chance to leave some feedback. If you want, you can write a post-it for me as well, with whatever comes to mind. Or just put the smiley. You know, was it valuable? Was it fun for you today? To spend this hour of your life, valuable hour, right? We have not that many hours, unfortunately, on this planet. So every hour should be cherished. So thank you so much. Thanks, DevOps community, for your once. Thank you, guys.
Can I say thank you to Leonid? Leonid, we haven't met for a few years face to face.
Yeah, it was
We have been on the call, but it was already time that we have done some things together, and I have a present for you. I wrote this before war in Ukraine when I was on conference, and that says Leonid, and that's a symbol of Leonid, and that will protect you and give you life.
Thank you so much.
Right, so you're getting more gifts as well today. This is a new gift from us, from Unity, DevOps Latvia. So let's have a big round of applause for Leonid, Yakin. Alrighty, so
This is why you get to become a speaker, right?
so but we are not finished yet. We have tons of stuff still left. So okay, wait. Okay, finally works. Yes, so next on our agenda is a lightning talk from Aldis Karlovskis.
No, it's a secret here.
That's how I feel right now after everything what you said. Great. Actually, it was planned for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not enough, and you give me 5 minutes.
It was
So,
before the snow started.
Ah,
Afterwards,
snow
it's
thing, snow thing.
it's in a flow.
All right. Well, anyhow, I see how we are doing on the agenda, and that the other most important part is sitting there and waiting. I mean, André is delivering the second talk. So this is just the lightning because no one else wants to do it, and then, well, in a way, yes, no one applies, so you're welcome. Now, back to this in 5 minutes. I'm thinking how to make it short as possible. First of all, I started my PhD studies. This is my theme. My goal is to get you all not fired, but just without a job in, let's say, 5 years. Obviously, I'm joking. At the same time, there is simple stuff. We could apply generative AI to how zombies run. It's doable. We could. And then we bring in Leo and Vladimir and more of you to get it to the next level. And then that's the purpose. So those Scrum Masters who are inventing zombie Scrumming companies should be replaced with this. That's kind of the 5 years goal, let's put it this way. So we don't have a clicker yet?
No.
Okay, now a little bit about the theoretical part of my way of thinking. We have speed to market. How fast we can deliver value, not products, value. Trying to stick to everything what Leo said. Then if we're successful, then our team, our product, code base, people, everything's growing. What it means in nature, like with human beings, we get older, we'll get slower. That's just nature, slower. What do we expect from agility? Scrum, Kanban, whatever, agility. It should keep us at the same speed as organization, as team, and so on, which is an impossible task. But kind of that's what we want out from the agility as such. And then, of course, just leaving out the sentence how creativity drops because of bureaucracy and implementing safe to keep being fast. You're still fast, but then you're not creative and stuff like that. Skipping on that. Now, generative AI. How many have touched ChatGPT today? Almost everyone. Almost. Yeah.
The free version of the pro version.
Sorry?
The free version of the professional version. Just kidding.
I'm unemployed. I don't know other versions. I know only the free one. Yeah. Okay. Generative AI. So now a tool which anyone, basically without IT knowledge, can touch and play with it. That doesn't even need to know English. Yeah, that's reality. It's a technological revolution because finally IT guys are cool again. Kind of it has been missing for a few years now. Again, IT people are cool. A generative artificial intelligence is a couple of topics, not getting into that. I'm not an expert. I'm gonna be in 5 years because we will not need DevOps anymore. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be an ML guy. So, generative AI can do bunch of cool stuff. It's not just for text, it can generate pictures, the videos. I haven't seen on Latvian TV because I don't watch the Latvian TV, but Coca-Cola made their ad with generative AI and it looks cool. Was there a question?
There was a question, what is the relation to the transformers? So how did you make it with the generated AI?
Ah, the agile transformers. These are different types of transformers. Okay, moving on. I feel how I'm not sticking to 5 minutes at all, but you're so happy to listen to me, so I'm just rolling. Now, there are a few ways how people see Agile and DevOps. I don't appreciate either of them. That's not my way of thinking, but very often we see pictures like this, that Agile takes care of this and DevOps then takes care of this. As I said, I don't agree with this. Then at the platform engineering meetup just a month ago, we have Henrik who showed us picture like this, that it's more of an evolution from waterfall to Agile to DevOps to platform engineering. That everything's about DevOps because I'm the DevOps guy, but some people see that kind of that type of sequence or order of things. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're getting more and more proven practices which we apply in different ways. It depends on the context, on the team, on your maturity, on so many factors. This is just to name a few. If we open the DevOps handbook, it tells you more than 150 different practices. If we would drop in Scrum practices in that book, it's going to be, I don't know, 300. If we take a few more things, it's going to be 1,000 practices in IT in total, maybe. So what do we do with all that? And performance. Why do we do DevOps? Why do we do Scrum? I shouldn't say this, but sticking to DevOps, roll back, rewind. Why do we do DevOps? To improve performance, not to automate infrastructure, for God's sakes. To improve performance of how we work, what do we do, how do we deliver, how do we engineer, and so on and so on and so on. Not going through all of that, the hypothesis says we can use generative AI to help us with some of this stuff. What exists today? People at university were shooting, kind of photoing this slide. I guess it has some real valuable content. All of that is available on the internet, I mean, but my latest research shows that I'm trying to jump a bit too far in the future, because the latest generative AI for Scrum Masters tool can work with the text, can work with some organizational contexts. It's HANA AI. That's so far what I'm seeing as the best one. Maybe I'm wrong. That the creators of HANA are gonna release Laura AI in a month. I've talked with the CEO of Enterprise Agility University. So it's not ready yet, it's buggy. They're trying to create this Scrum Master, basically, and it's not working yet, and this is going to be a commercial version, the Laura AI. So this is where we are today, and it's all on question and answer basis, what they are creating. I want to pull in the organizational data and do magic, so I'm kind of jumping too far ahead, and that's my problem, not yours, of course. I just need to settle down a little. Architecture, I will not hurt your brain with it. Most probably ML person would see that and say, because I'm not an expert on this topic. So that was the end of it. Thank you. Now, quickly moving to the next most important thing. Next week, what date it is? No, not next week, a week after that. There's DevOps Days, Nordic DevOps Days conference in Estonia. Please come, I'll be there. It costs money. Use the code to get a 15% discount. I can't take you with me. They will be paying for my ticket. But see you there. It's gonna be interesting. It's not just the DevOps topics as we do in me. That doesn't work. What organizers are trying to do is, instead of managerial DevOps talks, as they call it, they brought in, I think Google is still coming, but AWS is in, and I think Microsoft is in as well, but separate workshops. They're focusing more on technical stuff. Yeah, so I'll be there, as I said. Thank you, I'm out.
All right. So thanks to all this for this lightning talk, and now we can proceed to the break. Right. Applause for the
Das Übernehmen mal ist Scrum-Training Vegas, I think.
Alrighty. I hope everyone is now well fed and had some drinks. So let me introduce you, André Nitzschmann, with the talk of what design thinking could be. Stage is yours. Yo!
So everybody in the room already?
Yes, the speaker and something for the priest.
Oh, here he comes. So obviously it's a talk about me. But we have to start somewhere, you know, that's like, if we wouldn't do it this way, then it would be boring, but it's something special, and maybe we can talk about that, the details after this. But as we had a nice session before about Scrum, I thought, yeah, there's a reason why, you know, it's so hard. Can you go back? Yeah, there's a reason why you are, why it's so, yeah, sorry, Jonas. Why there are so little people who can teach Scrum, because there is one master and you have to overcome this master. But the thing is, there are some more development levels maybe behind this. Like, maybe agility is completely something different, what you have really to feel, live, and experience. And I'm pretty sure that not only those ones who are going through the courses are qualified to get there, but also a lot of other people, because if you work on something with passion and with good people, you will make your journey and you will get your own peak somewhere. Actually, it's a slide from, or a picture from someone who has to do quite a lot with agility. Does somebody know who is the creator of this slide? Who?
It's written there, in the left upper.
Yeah, but then I'm wondering why the others are not capable to read. Okay, it's Alistair. It's again me, so looks like I'm not going this direction up. So yes, it's Alistair Coburn who I'm referring, or who was creating the previous picture. Actually, someone, or all those three guys are people who I'm following lately quite often. Alistair might be known for quite a lot of you also because of the Heart of Agile, as he is the creator of, and honestly, he has quite a lot of other nice talks as well and workshops. And somehow I have to say it would be cool if this guy comes over, because he's thinking about how to change organizations at a scale, or systems at a scale. Meanwhile, Ken Beck, also well known for XP, he didn't do certificates, so he didn't become successful with this. He's saying it himself this way, I would say, at least if you listen to some of his talks. Nevertheless, I would say, also due to his Facebook experience and some other activities, someone to live, you really can listen. And if you read in between the lines, you will see what could work in your organization differently, or how it's functioning. And you will see that even experienced people are faced with challenges. The last one is the one who's responsible, therefore, that we know what the Agile Manifesto is, because he was setting up the webpage with the manifesto. So Pragmatic Dave Thomas, he did recently a talk with Dave Farley, and was quite interesting because he went into education and other stuff. So I thought, hey, this is interesting. I have to figure out what Dave Thomas is doing. And he has a nice webpage, and you can book simply call with him. So we had a call about an hour. It was scheduled for 20 minutes or something like this. It was fun. Good things, especially about, okay, how can you skill up people, especially also kids, to make them, I wouldn't say realize themselves, but to give them the opportunity to realize themselves. So these are the three guys from the Agile Manifesto where I would say I'm following quite a lot, or who made me thinking, because headline of design thinking and so on, a lot of facilitate education, for education, learning. Has maybe to do something also with those guys, because they talk about a lot of things or mention a lot of things where I have to say, hey, yeah, good to think about, and looks like agility and agile could work. And then there's some other guys who I'm following on YouTube, for example, or so, yeah, and there maybe those guys who have made some additional experiences and from other perspectives. Also, all guys where I would say, nice to listen to them, to reflect and to take your own learnings on your own work, your own life, and maybe your ideas and projects. They follow most likely known for test-driven development, continuous delivery, and continuous integration. Someone who's really nice because he maybe was like pointing one of the books which was mentioned in the direction like it's not so nice, like double work and so on, Alan Hobart, but he has a very nice way to point out how teams can collaborate in a crowd. And basically what he's applying is mob programming, where someone was talking about it first, and most likely is, I wouldn't say maybe he's the inventor, because he's not saying he is an inventor, it's what he's doing. A very interesting way how you can work as programmers together, and it goes beyond the XP version, like or there's a pair programming. But what is really interesting, and that's maybe a reason for me as more a business guy, because I'm like not really capable to program, is all what those guys are talking about, you can apply to business processes as well. You can actually apply it also to the development of communities, of social technical ecosystems. And therefore, it's not bad also to figure out, okay, how it is working more in the development sphere. Kevin Henley, 6 things which are impossible. If someone knows this talk, watch it. Will be surprised what things are not possible. Someone who is known for destroying the headhunter dreams, Dylan Beatty. Do you know why?
He doesn't have LinkedIn?
He has it. I'm not sure. I know he has, but I'm not sure if he's human. No, because all headhunters and famous or amazing companies were asking for rockstar programmers. So he went to a bar and had the idea to develop the rockstar programmer language. So since then, a lot of people became rockstar programmers. And Eric Evans is maybe now someone who gives me the next step for my speech, which is actually the focus about design-driven development, domain-driven development this way. So all guys were for a long time in the business, and in my opinion, worth to follow whatever they do, posts, videos, whatever, and to think, okay, what do I have in common with them? What's different? What I see in my daily work and what I see in other construction. It's not about taking how they do it. It's more about reflecting, okay, maybe how advanced you are yourself already. Because honestly, quite a lot of things I have to say, I would say we have already realized, but no, we didn't check it. Nobody was telling us, and that's also good that we have this meetups here, and maybe we get there. So, but what could be design thinking? And why it's for learning. So, design thinking, that's the way how it is written usually. Anything interesting about this right now? No?
There's a mistake in the middle.
Why?
That's not how it's written.
Usually it's written with a dash in between. No? I see it quite often with a dash, but that's already one point we have discussed. You're spoiling my story.
No, play along.
So it's like the implementation is basically, there has to be some kind of problem which you would like to solve. Usually, like it's the way how it's communicated. The fun fact is, very often there is no problem. There's simply something that people would like to do different. Maybe they would like just to explore with whom they can do things better. And if you're talking about problems, then you get into a problem talk. So the problem gets larger, and it's getting part of the solution, which is even worse. So the implementation should be like this, or in this context is like thinking or doing this designing and this thinking. Especially in Latvia, I'm more experienced with this, and I somehow have the feeling that the people are facilitating mostly from the design part. The design part in terms of what can I draw, what can I create on paper. But maybe design is more than this. And the thinking part is like, what do you think? But usually, you know, then you get the small things, and then we decide for this what was thought was loud or loudest somehow. Meanwhile, my expectation would be, okay, we are going there, we are designing, and we are thinking together, because if we all come together, we have a huge potential to grow something. And yes, then we have the big challenge that we could build quite a lot of things, because we have a lot of people in the room, there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of different ways of implementations, which basically means, hey, yeah, we have a lot of small solution potentially which we could test somewhere. And if we are really agile and fast and whichever forward we take, then we actually could test also everything. And not only this, which is on the priority list on the top. Why? That what is usually on the priority list at the end on the top is that where you either have the people in the room who have enough spare time, because they can work on this, they can do it immediately, priority, like I could do it immediately, yeah, or you have resources for this available in other format, so like it's easiest way you can realize it, which basically means the problem will be covered with something. And yes, you can get some feedback from users, but it doesn't mean that in the long run that this implementation of this prototype is that what really from the business side and from the operational side and from the maintenance side is the best you can do for the organization and for the business, for the growth. Yeah, because what you can do fast with little effort is usually very expensive in the long run. And then there's 3 of these. Who has any idea?
Find out exactly.
Beep, beep, beep. Exactly, dot, dot, dot was there. So something that I was already explaining, like, yeah, we have in the writing of design thing, we have a minus, we have a dash, and we have some barriers. And usually if you want some kind of creativity, then it's a question, okay, what do we want with these things? Because they're basically not positive. The dash may be, because why the dash could be something which is connecting. So again, design and thinking, or designing and thinking, whatever, maybe we should think if we replace this dash or minus with some plus, it would be more useful. Because yeah, if I join such an activity, as a design thinking workshop, brainstorming or whatever, I have the intention that I want to do something. I most likely want to change something. And I want maybe to help other people to get ahead. Is that what I can deliver? So basically, I would expect if I go there, become a contributor, then I also receive something back, and we together can do something which helps us to build something. And together we have the power to build a lot. So, and then I came up with this formula. I know it's a play on words, but it's maybe also a bit like previously in the talk, like agile, agility, and so on. Maybe we should think about what the words may mean in terms of, is there an activity behind, or is it just a result or an expectation? Because activity in English at least has something to do with ing, like you're doing something. The cool stuff is engineering, like you're creating something, and so. So that means, you know, there seems to be some dependencies that you have to do something, you get a result, a new status, or you're starting at some point where something is missing, so you have to do something, get to the next status. And the question is how to combine this. In the collaboration with people, I would like to emphasize that it's like designing, if you really take it just as a creativity process, usually gets directly at least in my case, related to some kind of paint something. If you go to the, if you take designing for software, this field is big, whatever you can design. And we should get the flexibility to think about what we want to design. And that's a cool thing about agility and, let's say, about this mindset, which is around these words. Like, you give yourself the freedom to think about what you could do different to make a step ahead. And designing also means, if I build or design something, I maybe do not stick to the design. I can change it. But I have to think about it. If I want to change it, what could be the next level and so on. So it comes that most of it's two values, functionality and other stuff. But at the end, the decision usually will be made on some kind of a design. Let's say with the teams I'm working, or with people, it's like, usually we know we have to present something fancy on the screen so that the people decide for it. It's usually a design question. Honestly, we are bad designers. So our challenge is how to convince them that we do good things because we do things which are behind the scene. Technically, methodologies, and how to work with it. So again, thinking about how to make it happen. So, does someone know this abbreviation? No. Are you all only Sutherland guys or what? Are you all only Scrum guys?
Gradient.
Any ideas?
Oh, I know it was a picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's like, traveling with the speed of light. Make change easy, then make easy change.
Yeah, very catchy.
Exactly. Obvious or obvious understanding. But the thing is, if you're not thinking about your design, or if you're not designing also your thinking maybe in the way that you could change something, you will not be able to make change easy. And you also will not be able to make changes fast. And honestly, it's not a problem of the software developers or the software engineers. Because the mindset of the training and how you develop software makes you already advanced in this field. You're much ahead of this usually. It's more like other people think this is not possible. It is possible. Why? Then they will say, wait. Then other people will say, yeah, but we have big organizations, they are complex and they are distributed and so on and so on and so on. All complex distributed systems sounds like internet. So you have trouble with your organization, okay, we have trouble with 8 billion people and several billion devices. We can communicate in real time. So asynchronous communication with human beings might be the challenge, not like the complexity itself, because the complexity itself and communication could be served with digital solutions. So, hands-on. Getting back to the true story. We want to explore something. The coincidence also is the name of the event where we have been. Yeah, some cool guys from the Jelgava Technology Middle School, also secondary school, they're creating very nice e-cards. They're participating in a global contest for a global company, and was quite a lot of fun, I think to say. Because 25 teams have qualified for the global final, and 24 other teams wanted to ride all these cars. That's like, yeah. But next step. How did we come to such experience that other people would like to work with us or would like to use our products? Yeah, we have to make decisions. We have to set goals, OKRs, we heard today. Yeah, in this case, I have to admit it's from the previous presentation. I said, hey, if you want to do in business some innovation and agility and so on, honestly, any kind of service and product you basically can validate and sell in 4 weeks from the scratch. The question is, what is the price? Yeah. But if you make it like a software development approach, the costs are not high, you can get a good price, and most likely somebody will buy in. If you don't set a limit in terms of resources and time, you shouldn't do it. So decide for stopping. And then I told those business guys, designing the thinking or design thinking or however we take it is like, first of all, you have to discover what you're capable to do, what you want to do, and with whom you want to do, and then just start doing it. And here we come back to my very first slides with those guys who are like implementing it and discussing it. And I mean, YouTube is full of videos how you could apply agile methodologies. Is it Scrum? Is it Lean? Is it Kanban? Whatever we take to make progress. Just, yeah. And if we have discovered this, we should make some of this progress. We should start with designing what we want to do together, like deciding, okay, what is a small step we want to accomplish, or which it could do, and what is the big vision behind. For the business people, I said, hey, basically, is it something you meet once a week or twice a week? In 2 weeks, you have discovered what you want to do. You can make a plan, yeah, to make them happy, just for the managers. And then you can go into week 3 and start developing. Then usually it's like, yeah, developing. That means you need a lot of money to do something. Not really. Delegate your idea, first of all. Formulate it, present it. I mean, we had some nice talks today, like how you can make things happen. It's also a validation. You were changing on it. Communicate it. The first thing you usually do if you have designed something, you talk about it. And development is very similar. If you put it in code, you are able to share it. Basically, you are communicating, make it accessible. And then it's a big question, does the other side is accepting it and using it? Then it's a question, what's the next step? Is there a buy-in for the business? So therefore, finding teamwork rocks. And honestly, that's what the school did there is like, they decided last year that they wanted to make a e-card race, like efficiency race. So they had 10 teams of pupils from class 2 to 12 building such e-cars from upcycled materials with some technical limitations in terms of like 3 batteries from a special tool manufacturer. Some are a bit more advanced because they have the connection to our RTU school. Yeah. But they built something. Yeah. And it was impressive. Why? Because first of all, young students interested in engineering, proving that they are interested in sustainability activities, together with their teachers, and they did it with their parents, and they had a race this year in summer, and they did it at a very, very low budget. Yeah, and some German guy said, hey, why are we not participating in such a global challenge? Like, let's see how others are reacting on this. And reactions were good. Basically, we were struggling with this event because like everybody said to us, oh, that's a dream, you know, school. Kids are doing engineering, being happy about that they can experience it. And all those students who were at this final said, oh, that reminds me of my childhood. And all the jury members said, yeah, that's what we need to have also the future talents and so on. It was amazing. So it was basically struggling with it. Just from the way how lifelong learning is working. Kids, teachers, parents. So it means whatever we do, if we want to learn something, we have to do it with people together. We have to challenge us. Yeah, sometimes some people maybe are a bit more progressive or maybe also more aggressive with their opinion. Reflect on this, understand how to handle it, how to develop it ahead, and just be successful. And then deploy it. Take money from this. This is very. Or maybe not only money, there are maybe also other ways on how to gain satisfaction or acknowledgement for that what to do. But honestly, money helps. And may help you or help us all to enable also other people. But why I'm also mentioning this, because I'm still pretty sure that if you're a developer or generally in the field of software engineering or software development active and you know what you do and you have some specific skills or hobbies or whatever, you can be an outperformer in a specific niche. And this makes you somehow unique. And if there are people who are interested in this, then you can sell your knowledge. You only have to learn how to make this applicable, how to sell it, and so on. And usually you can do it only on your own because you need some other people with whom to challenge it. Yeah, result? Yeah, 5 categories, 25 teams in the final. Unfortunately, they didn't have a 6th category, so they said, yeah, guys, we like what you had, what you do. Like, you get an additional award for inspiring us. That was cool. And honestly, the other teams, they also had got some prizes with some funding for the next stages of their industrial automation projects. Yeah. But in this case, it was about emotions and satisfaction. I mean, some people, they were close to, say, to cry. Just not because they have received this prize, but they have got this acknowledgement from other people that the work they do, with the people they do, is impressive, valuable, necessary, and the thing to do for the future. So, that's my talk. Does anyone has questions? So, if anyone has questions which are not related to Scrum and Sutherland, I might be able to talk about.
No, actually, not necessarily a question. Design thinking. It's something that you would only find out if your child is in the 7th grade. But actually, design thinking is now in the main curriculum in engineering in 7th grade. Yeah. So actually, people have discovered design thinking is very important to be taught in a very young age. So 7th grade is 14, I think. No, younger, 12.
That's really good. And I mean, that's also another point which is always hard. As also Uwe said before, you know, some people have their opinions, they stand in for this and so on. It's sometimes hard. Like, if you do things differently, you might be better with things from your perspective. At the end, it's like everything is some kind of a methodology or a tool which you can apply. And the good thing is we have this with all these methodologies or the chance to make the next step in terms of a knowledge society, yeah, which is, let's now talk from the business perspective or even from the political perspective, is an opportunity for Europe to outstand also in the future, or outperform in the future. Because honestly, we don't have resources, we don't have enough people, so how can we outcompete? Potentially applying know-how and making know-how or knowledge and know-how available at the scale. And design thinking is a good methodology. I'm personally doubting usually in the implementation a bit. Like the concept itself is like with Scrum and all these other things. The ideas are well described, space for interpretation, and you know, it's not always only the concept you have to follow. It's like you have to see is if the people in the room, if the concept is made for them, and not that the people are adjusting to the concept. Because otherwise, it's like, you know, it's like chaos theory. If one person is doing something different, only something, then the design thinking will not work. Just because on the long run, the impact will be heavily. And it's like, let's say there's some kind of IT administrator who's responsible for installing some kind of a hardware infrastructure. He says in the meeting or in this workshop, yes, I will switch on the computer. The question is when, if he will really do it, if he doesn't like it. You know? And if he is a point, just switching on, and he's never doing it, however, then the whole design thinking process is already broken. And this is something I have to say that honestly, I don't see that we are really exploring in this kind of or in design thinking workshops and also in brainstorming. Who do we really have in the room? What do they can do with the resources they have? Who we might need so that we can make small steps. Design thinking is from the idea. It's like yes, you do a small step, but basically, if you then build it, it's very often so being communicated to those to whom it's presented that those already think that's the final word. And this would have been the big step. And then the game starts. And then you're sitting there like, okay, somehow I had this feeling in the workshop already that this could happen. Yeah, but you cannot say it anymore because, you know, decision was made for the priorities. And honestly, it's maybe then this, like this, let's say, delivery pipelines, we need to understand what is segmented. We need to chunk it down. And once again, from the business perspective, I would say it would be necessary to transfer or to create this knowledge transfer from software engineering into this business field, to understand what is actually possible, not how to make it, but what is possible. Then you can also decrease the difference between the high speed of communication in the internet and the slow speed of communication among humans. Like right now, you know, I'm talking and here are like 30 guys who I'm talking. Basically useless that I'm talking. Especially what you have now. We are not, on the one side, it's good that we are maybe not able to utilize it immediately, but on the other side, it's sad because we are all smart brains. We should figure out what we can put together to make it smooth, make it nice and successful, and get a share from this. No Scrum questions, please.
Last one.
Yeah.
Easy one. André, you are doing good things. How can we, as a community, help you?
It means weakness. That is one thing. I mean, we are also quite a long time already. I mean, meetups on one side, but my last example is actually one of the examples where I always think about, okay, you have someone on stage. It was also all the other talks. It's the same. There's a know-how, there's a vision to do something. Then you do those amazing brainstorming, design thinking activities. Yes, you get a plan then, and then everything fits. So the question is, okay, what would be the next level of facilitation and utilization of the capacity and the potential we have? Is it that we have one or two talks, or is it like we have one talk and go immediately in some kind of an activity, like with mock programming, for example? As I said, we have applied it recently for several startups, student teams who wanted to do some innovations in healthcare. It was so awesome what those teams created in the facilitation of the mock programming approach, let's say this way. There are some other approaches as well, but we had 4 sessions. Like every session was about 2 hours, but Christoph can tell more because he had to do that. And honestly, those guys built in 4 weeks, from my perspective, an amazing foundation in terms of who they are, what they want, what they can do, with whom they should work, potentially, and all these things what you actually would need to start something. But then comes one big thing. Yeah, the starting point was there that on one side, potentially we as facilitators, the mistakes that we have created, maybe so much speed and meanwhile also some kind of comfort zone that on one side, due to the speeds, they didn't realize what actually happened, what they have created. Yeah, and this is a comfort zone, like, oh yeah, those guys, they will help us. And then we had 4 weeks really like high speed with them. There was one data science inside. And then it was like going slowly down. And honestly, one of the biggest reasons why they slowed down was because they were afraid to go out and talk about it with the others. Not in terms that the solutions are necessary, but in terms of, hey, we are here, we are ready to talk to you, like to healthcare professionals. We are ready to talk to you to understand how to transfer your needs and potential solution. And that's something where we said, it's not our task, it's their project, they want to do it, so they have to make the steps. And ask, or maybe this is then also part of the answer, what you could do, for example, or let's say, especially the seniors here with the experiences, like, okay, how can we ensure that we deliver this or build up the speed, that we keep the comfort zone, let's say, available, but without, let's say, sit down on this, and take down this barrier or this fear in terms of yeah, I don't have this ready-made product which is already clickable and this and this and this. It's not a problem because anyway it will not be the product they want, you know. It's like when they see it, they will say, yes, it's something they wanted all the time, but different. And that's, in my opinion, more experience questions. And there's like you need a senior next to fresh teams, and maybe it's not even a question of age. It's also like if you find the direction, who's next to you and just go there. Or I have made an appointment, go there. I will be next to you. Just talk about who you are, what you are doing, and where you want to go, and why you need the help of the other guys to build something, and why you can help something.
So let's have a big round of applause. A little present for you as well.
I take only cards.
Okay.
Yeah, next year, in June, there will be the next e-card session. And if you have kids, secondary school or gymnasium, wherever, they should join in. So it will be announced someone.
All right. Thank you for the talk. But it's not over yet, since there's two things I would say left. First one, if you could scan the QR code and leave your feedback about the whole event. How did you like the talks? How did you find about us? And help us improve in general for the events in the future. It is very helpful for us, and we do take things in consideration, what you write there. That would be very nice. So, for the streaming part, this is about it, and we can wrap this event up for the streaming part. But for the people who are here, we will have these. Well, this time it would be called Agile Talks, where people can gather. If you did this, I can show you the next slide. Ignore the DevOps part, but this time it's Agile Talks. And I will explain you the rules more once we move back to the other room. But basically, it's just a discussion of the people who want to discuss some kind of a problem they have at work or just any kind of topic, and it's just a discussion between people. And those who want to stay, please do so. And if you want to join the discussions as well, please do so. But if you don't, it's okay if you don't participate in it, and you can just stay and chill and listen in to the discussions. But for today, that's it for this room. And thank you very much for coming for, I would say, our first only Agile talk. And I hope you come again. I hope you found this valuable, the presentations, you liked it. And see you next time then. Next event, already in December. Thanks everybody for coming. Big round of applause. Bye. Bye. Go online.
Pumpkin time, pumpkin time.